Moonshiners stars Mark Ramsey Digger Manes reveal why sales are booming during pandemic. It's a win-win. The ongoing coronavirus pandemic has crippled thousands of businesses across the country. But for modern moonshiners, they say sales have been booming. The distillers of backwoods Appalachia revealed the American hooch has been in greater demand during tough times. Distilling partners Mark Ramsey and Digger Manes chronicle their adventures in the new season of Discovery's Moonshiners, which details how 2020 has been a surprisingly prosperous year for the spirit. For them, hard times make the best shine. In the series, viewers will learn how massive quantities of ingredients, such as fruits and grains, have helped backwoods shiners produce high-quality liquor for cheap. Ramsey and Manes spoke to Fox News about why they believe moonshine has become increasingly popular this year, misconceptions they feel people still have about the liquor, as well as any advice they would give to someone eager to make lightning strike. Distilling partners Mark Ramsey, Left, and Digger Manes chronicle their adventures in the new season of Discovery's Moonshiners, which details how 2020 has been a surprisingly prosperous year for the spirit. Discovery: many businesses are suffering due to the pandemic, but it sounds like moonshine is thriving. Well, we don't know what to attribute it to. Now, the folks that wanted liquor for hand sanitizer, yeah, we pick up on that. But when you're at home with a screaming wife and crying babies, I guess maybe you need a little nerve settler. Yeah, being cooped up with people all the time, that will either make you really love them or really hate them. Moonshine, it's an all-around cure-all. If you're sad, you drink it to drown your sorrows. If you're happy, you drink it to celebrate. So it's a win-win deal for us. Even with the moonshine business booming, what are some challenges you two have faced? Well, a lot of times, when we needed things, businesses were closed at a certain point. It was shutting people down. Times were getting hard, like the Depression. That's what made it so scary. But we rose to the top, and everything's working out fine right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't have to go through that again. We were fortunate. We sourced a whole lot of ingredients early on in the season, and we didn't have to deal with that as things progressively got worse. It seems like the harder the times were, the better liquor sales were. So it was good for us, but it was horrible for most people. Manes. Back in the day, we called it apple brandy, and then somebody down the line decided they'd tag it with apple pie, and that was about it. Putting cherries in moonshine and selling it to folks, it has gone through the roof. It's a rage, and this whole rage, it can be laid at late moonshiner Popcorn Sutton's feet. He's the guy that really started this rage. Fox News. What's a misconception you feel people still have about the moonshine business today? And what's the reality? Manes. Number 1. All the old moonshiners, they weren't hoodlums and hellions. They were fine, upstanding members of their community and still are. That and moonshine is going to make you go blind or kill you. That was propaganda, trying to stop sales. Ramsey. The old-timers, they weren't criminals. There is a difference, and they were doing what they had to do to survive. There was no work. We took from that. We've tried to base our way we do things on the way that the old-timers thought. We're big into heritage, and we respect them. Fox News. What advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue the moonshine business? Manes. The best advice I can give you is don't. Unfortunately, it's a dying art. It's hard work. Soon, it's going to be a thing of the past, I'm afraid. Ramsey. If they're thinking about getting involved, they definitely should. But please know this, you're going to fail. You're going to fail a lot. But stay with it. It's not easy work. The old-timers always described how people thought they would just lay on their hind end and make liquor. I promise you, if they're making liquor, they are not sitting on their hind end. But if you want to do it, go for it. You'll know if it's for you, or if it's not in a very short time. It is satisfying to make a little libation and know you produced it yourself. Moonshiners airs Tuesdays at 8 p.m. ET on Discovery. Moonshiners stars Mark Ramsey Digger Manes reveal why sales are booming during pandemic. It's a win-win in the world of illegal liquor, or moonshine. It's hard to find many success stories, but the stars of the hit reality TV series Moonshiners, Mark Ramsey and Digger Manes, have not only found success, they've seen their business booming amid the challenges of the pandemic. While many industries have struggled, the world of moonshine distilling has found a surprising path to growth, with Ramsey and Manes at the forefront. Become familiar faces on the Discovery Channel series are not only known for their moonshining skills, but also for their ability to adapt and thrive in a changing world. But how did they manage to capitalize on a time of economic uncertainty? How did their business rise when so many others floundered? In this exclusive interview, Ramsey and Manes open up about the pandemic's impact on their business, why their sales have exploded, and why they think it's a win-win for them and their customers. Adapting to the timeless pandemic hit businesses across the globe hard. With many physical stores forced to close or limit their hours, customers' access to products became restricted. For most industries, the initial months were filled with uncertainty and steep declines in sales. However, for the moonshine industry, things were different. Ramsey explains how the pandemic's impact on consumer behavior benefited their business. When things first started getting bad, people were looking for ways to make the most out of staying at home. We saw a shift in interest. People weren't going out to bars as much, they weren't going to restaurants, and they weren't able to socialize like they used to, he says. So naturally, they started turning to alternative ways to enjoy spirits. With more people staying home and social gatherings being put on hold, alcohol consumption shifted. People began experimenting more with making their own drinks at home, whether that was brewing their own beer or distilling their own spirits. For many, the idea of moonshine, something that had long been associated with prohibition and underground culture, started to gain new appeal. Honestly, it was almost like a resurgence of a bygone era, where people were trying to return to their roots, Diva adds. It was about taking things back to basics and finding joy in the simple stuff. Our customers started looking for something authentic and real. And moonshine, well, that's as real as it gets. The new moonshine boom in the past, moonshine was a product that carried a certain level of risk. For decades, distilling your own liquor was illegal, often associated with backwoods operations and a covert culture. But with the rise of the legal moonshine industry, which has grown rapidly over the last decade, it's become a bit more mainstream. While still maintaining the rebellious spirit of its roots, it's now a product that can be enjoyed safely and legally, something that Ramsey and Manes have been able to capitalize on. Mark Ramsey and Digger Manes have taken full advantage of this shift. Their products, sold under their brand, are crafted with the same care and dedication they put into their operations on Moonshiners. We've been able to scale up our production to meet the demand that came from the pandemic, Mark explains. People were home more, spending more time in their kitchens and at their bars, and they wanted quality products they could enjoy without having to go out. The transition from illegal to legal distillation has also allowed them to expand their product line and explore more creative flavors and blends. From classic corn whiskey to unique flavored moonshines like apple pie and blackberry, the variety of options has made their brand stand out. Digger explains, it's all about giving people options. Moonshine's not just one thing anymore. It's a whole culture, and it's evolving. People want to try different things, so we give them that opportunity. Ramsey adds, we're definitely seeing younger generations get more involved. Social media has been a huge factor. People want to share their experiences, whether it's distilling their own batch or sharing what they've made with our product. It's an exciting time for us. The power of social media and e-commerce through the pandemic accelerated a shift toward online shopping, and Mark and Digger were quick to jump on this trend. Even though their products were traditionally available at local retailers and distilleries, they knew they needed to expand into e-commerce if they were going to keep up with the increased demand. We already had a good following, but when the pandemic hit, it was like everyone turned to their computers and phones to shop, Diva explains. We knew we had to make sure people could still get our product even if they couldn't leave their homes. So, we ramped up our online sales, and it really took off. Their digital presence on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok has grown substantially. The stars of Moonshiners have been able to connect with fans of the show in a more personal and interactive way, giving followers an inside look at the distillation process and offering special deals on their products. Mark says, social media is a game changer. It gives us a direct line to our customers. We get feedback in real time, and it's exciting to see so many people getting involved in our world. Digger adds, it's also a great way to keep the spirit of the show alive. People